Coast earlier. Traditionally a bit of a hazardous space for investment, certainly quite a volatile market. You're quite excited about it though. Can you give us a bit of background and logic towards that, your excitement versus, I guess, the general perception of Gold Coast being a bad investment?
Yeah, I think the way I look at Gold Coast is, and people ask me this, I suppose, if you take it, and I use this as a metaphor because anyone who knows me knows I'm not a gambling man, but let's say I was a card counter and playing a blackjack table. Well, obviously all I'm doing is I'm shifting the odds in my favour. And I like to think over the years I've done that. And now by playing the game, I can't perform miracles. You know, I can just do what it might take the normal punter to do in 11 or 12, and I can do it in 6, 6.5. That might be a cocky thing to say. It's more actually of a criticism of what the average punter's doing to take it 12 years, rather than how good I am to do it at 6. My point is, back to that card counter, I've shifted the house odds in my favour, 60-40, rather than usually the 49-51 to the house. But let's just say I told you that there's a poker machine over there that spits out cash every Thursday, okay? After doing it for so long, playing these cards, wouldn't I be foolish to at least not worked out what that poker machine's all about? And that's what Gold Coast is. You said something in the question which might have been a reference to volatility or risk. Well, look, volatility, the way I look at it, has got two parts to it. There's a yin and a yang. There's upside volatility and there's downside volatility, and I'm going for the downside. If you want to focus on Gold Coast right now, what you need to do is remember the old truism, the old saying in investment, and that is that your expectations of the future is usually set by your experience in the immediate past. Okay, they're not looking 7 or 8 years ago, they're looking at what happened in the last 2 years. Yeah, Gold Coast stunk. That's absolutely the reason why I'm in there, and absolutely the reason why we have been there and recommending it for the last 2.5 years at a stretch. Okay, and that's exactly the point I make. Gold Coast, get everything you thought out of your head and focus on the reality right now. Gold Coast is the biggest driver in Queensland rather, for jobs. Let's look at April numbers, and obviously I know we're doing this in October, November of 2015, but these data numbers do come out 6 months later, the actual true data numbers. April, 14,100 net jobs. Not all full-time, I concede that. 14,100 net jobs in Gold Coast in 2014-15. In 2015, on a rolling 12-year average, a 12-month average rather, 180,000 net jobs into the Gold Coast.
What kind of jobs are these?
Look, let's look at Gold Coast specifically. 3 biggest industries: construction, tourism, and hospitality. Let's put tourism and hospitality almost together. Right, we know about the construction boom that's going on there at the moment, and the simple, I won't say the simple person, but the average punter would look at the crane test. How many cranes are in the sky? And that goes back to my argument about the cure for high prices is high prices. The cure for low prices is low prices. So that is the Gold Coast in a nutshell. Could that have a carry-on effect?
The cranes in the sky, isn't there an oversupply on the Gold Coast? Is there a danger of that?
And it absolutely will, Adam. I'm not denying here, and let's make the emphasis on this, that there is no suggestion at all that Gold Coast isn't any more than a trade. Now, it's not to say that by holding a Gold Coast property in 2040, you won't end up in the same position as you will in Brisbane, but the ride's just bumpier. Okay? So ask what most people would rather do for their core asset between that period of time, and they'd much rather hold something that follows just a more linear trend. But all I'm talking about is trading these extremely low averages, selling out for what inevitably is a really high average. And obviously there's other places you can trade. Obviously, the way that the market, I think, should look at this is like an upside down pyramid, where you've got most of the market up the top, this Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, these big, you've got 13, 14 million people in there. If you're looking at that scenario, and when people make their decisions to, their affordability is maxed out at those levels, they do move to smaller markets. And you'd call it the sea change effect. It's a very normal and natural thing, and they move to other places as well. But I put a few comfort little insurance policies in there. My insurance policy on the Gold Coast is that it is Australia's 6th largest city, okay? Bigger than Wollongong, bigger than Newcastle. We could have the same conversations about investing in those places. So that's my first insurance policy that's bigger than those, still being Australia's 6th largest city. But, at the same time as being Australia's 6th largest city, it also gets that froth of the overseas investment dollar. I'm not denying that froth is not real. But what I am saying is that's about the time that clients of mine, myself, are unloading to the next greater fool. greater fool theory.